On a quiet Sunday morning, while most of America was still asleep, history was about to explode. December 7th, 1941 began like any other peaceful day in Hawaii. The sky was clear. The ocean was calm. Sailors on the U.S. Naval Base at Pearl Harbor were eating breakfast, writing letters home, or preparing for routine duties. No one knew that in just minutes, the world would be thrown into a war that would reshape humanity forever. Far across the Pacific Ocean, 6 Japanese aircraft carriers moved silently through the dark waters. On their decks sat over 400 warplanes, bombers, fighters, and torpedo planes, waiting for one signal. Japan had been expanding its empire across Asia, but the United States stood in its way. America had cut off Japan's oil supply, threatening its survival as a military power. Japan made a dangerous decision. Instead of backing down, they would strike first. Their target was Pearl Harbor, the home of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. If Japan could destroy America's battleships, the United States would be too weak to stop their expansion. Or so they believed. At 7:48 a.m., the first Japanese planes appeared in the Hawaiian sky. At first, many Americans thought they were friendly aircraft. Then the bombs began to fall. Explosions ripped through the harbor. Warships were torn apart. Smoke filled the sky. Flames rose hundreds of feet into the air. The USS Arizona was hit by a massive bomb. It exploded so violently that the entire ship broke apart. Over 1,100 sailors were killed in seconds. Men were trapped below decks. Some were burned alive. Others were crushed by collapsing steel. Those who survived jumped into the water, only to find it burning with leaking fuel. The harbor became a sea of fire. Sailors ran through smoke and debris, desperately trying to save their friends. One man later said, "It felt like the world was ending." Nurses rushed to help the wounded. Doctors performed surgeries without enough supplies. Many men were so badly injured that they never made it off the ships. In just 2 hours, over 2,400 Americans were dead. It was the worst attack on American soil in modern history. When the smoke cleared, Pearl Harbor was in ruins. 8 battleships were damaged or destroyed. Hundreds of planes were burned. The Pacific Fleet lay broken. Japan believed they had won a great victory, but they had made a fatal mistake. America was now awake. The next day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt spoke to the nation. His voice was calm, but powerful. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States declared war on Japan. Within days, Germany and Italy declared war on America. World War II had become a global war. What Japan did not realize was this. They had not destroyed America's aircraft carriers. Those ships were out at sea. And those carriers would later strike back, harder than anyone imagined. Pearl Harbor did not defeat America. It united it. Factories began producing weapons at an unbelievable speed. Millions of Americans volunteered for military service. The country transformed into a war machine. The attack that was meant to stop America instead made it unstoppable. Today, the remains of the USS Arizona still lie beneath the water. Above it stands a white memorial, honoring the men who never came home. Oil still rises slowly to the surface, as if the ship itself is still remembering that day. Pearl Harbor was not just an attack. It was the moment the modern world changed forever. History does not turn quietly. Sometimes, it turns in fire. And on December 7th, 1941, the world turned toward war. This was not just the story of Pearl Harbor. This was the moment the world stepped into a new era. Stay tuned for next video.